The podcast that you are about to listen is going to be one of the best investments of your life because you are going to be able to dominate one of the most, what I can say, difficult challenges of modern society, what we can call university or college. So, this is something that is a recent invention. This is not something that humans, we are programmed to dominate this type of environment. Back in the day, we were asked to dominate hunting, to dominate agriculture, to dominate primal social dynamics. But hey, society evolves, and now we have this sophisticated system that also is a business, that also can be scammy a lot of times, but that also can be very useful for a couple of individuals that know how to gain from the system, to gain from the educational system that we call college or university, and that can easily transform your life, your economical destiny, your career, your whole humanity if you know how to proceed. So believe me, it's gonna be a heck of an investment this hour with me. Let me tell you a little bit of my story because maybe you have never seen me before. My name is Dr. Derek Israel. I am a clinical psychologist and I'm only 28 years old right now. So I finished with my university career as a student 1 year ago. So I finished all my university type of endeavors when I was 27. Now it's pretty cool, huh? Because maybe you say 27, oh, man, you are not that young. Well, let's put this in context. 27 with a doctoral degree, I think is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Most people ends their bachelor at 22. Maybe if they continue to a master, they finish at 25. And if they continue to a doctoral program, they can finish at 30 at best. So 27, it was the best that I can do. And I'm really proud of that. So I really dominated university. I participated in two different universities in Puerto Rico. One of those universities is based on United States program. So I dominated both. And for me, the thing is that is very important about this type of domination that I will teach you how I did it and how you can do the same. Is not that I only dominated intellectually, but also in all the spheres, all the dimensions that you need to actually dominate this university life. Because it's more than just good grades, you see. It's about social, it's about sexual dynamics, it's about leadership, it's about having fun, it's about knowing who you are, discovering your professional identity, your philosophical ideas and identity. It's about going to parties, right? It's about understanding spirituality. It's about to really transforming your substance. That is in the mythological, psychological journey and narrative, the whole point of going to college or university. So I was not the most intellectual on the campus. I was never 4.0 in my GPA. But I think that in the multi-perspectival, multi-dimensional approach, I was one of the very best. And that's why I feel proud, ready, and entitled to transfer this information with absolute confidence to you. So in my bachelor degree, it was on general psychology. I did it in 3 years and a half, but I graduated in 4 because, well, I have to wait to the graduation, right? Um, so I ended with a GPA of 3.72, magna cum laude. So yeah, pretty good. And in my doctoral program, it was a combined program between master and doctoral. So I only did one because it was both at the same time, a more intensive program though. I ended with, if I am not mistaken, maybe 3.82 or 3.80 something. Pretty good, right? Not four, not perfect, but pretty good. So the most important thing that I learned about it is that it's all about who you become in your university journey. And the most proud thing about it, in my experience and perspective, is who I am today. The project, the business that I'm conducting today, the programming that I have on my mind today, the confidence, the artistry, the creativity, the power that I have today, all of those stuff that we can resume in the personal development that I have today is the thing that I am most proud of this journey. And let me tell you something before we continue moving forward and we are done with the intro. This personal development is not something that you will just receive in your university journey. No, university, they are not designed for transubstantiation, from transmuting your substance, for transmutation. No, they are just designed to create employees. You need to understand this. They are they are giving you skills and instruments and tools for you to become a very good employee in whatever you are studying. But it's your responsibility. This is something that is apart from university. This is something that is an extra. It's an extra effort that you need to bring to the table if you want to achieve this supra state of consciousness, this exponential personal development during your journey. This is something that your professors, they will not ask for you. You can be a 4.0 and you don't need to do what I will propose. But if you want the maximum growth because you are a future thinker, you're a visionary, you are a macro perspective kind of guy or woman, you like to see further ahead. You like to design your destiny. You like to configure your biography. Well, then these tools that I will share with you in this podcast, they will become indispensable. They will become imperative for your inevitable college, university domination. And welcome, baby, to the most transformative podcast in the multiverse. This is the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2 with your host, the Papacito of Puerto Rico, your favorite doctor of all time, Dr. Derek Israel. And this is the episode 613. All right, my friend, let's go exactly to the information that you came to learn here in this podcast. Take notes, but more importantly, listen with your heart what I will tell you. Listen with your soul. Listen with your sexual energy. Listen with your spiritual center. If you want to dominate college or university, focus on these following points. Do them exactly as I tell you, and you will generate your own results, and I believe that they will be successful. The first point to dominate college or university is that you need to focus on independent thought and becoming an original ideas machine. You need to focus on developing independent thought and original ideas. Most people, they go to college or university and they are just copycats. They copy, they copy, they copy whatever the professors say. They just repeat. And sometimes this is a very good social strategy. You know who like that? Most professors. Most professors like average type of students. Students that do not question them. Because if no one question them, they can maintain their self-image without any laceration, and they can continue to go on with their life. And something that you need to understand about professors, thanks God that I am not a professor. I was about to be one day. They invited me to a university, and look at this crazy story. I was about to start being a professor while I was doing my doctoral program. And in between the process of me getting hired, an earthquake hit Puerto Rico. And it was a very disastrous earthquake. And then all the classes were suspended. Obviously, it was a natural disaster, and you know, I never negotiated back the contract. But so now I'm free in the terms of I only have the perspective of the student, not of the university professor, although I have my own educational program. You can find that in the description of this podcast. But most professors, their whole self-esteem depends on their college career or university career. So if you question their ideas, they take that very personally, and they hate you for that. So they like people that just shut up and copy and repeat. And 90% of the students that you will be with, they will do just that. You need to be different. If you really want to dominate college and university, you need to create original ideas of your own. You need to cultivate independent thought. That doesn't mean that you will never listen to your professor. Yeah, sometimes they will give you some insights, very powerful insights. They are intelligent people, they are intellectuals, they are scientists, they are good people. But they are not good enough for you to sacrifice your independent singularity for them, right? Not only for them, but for no one. Not for your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your mother, your father, your culture, your religion, for no one, dude. This is a advice for life. Believe me, there's nothing better than to be known as an original thinker. Maybe you will not be the favorite of your professors. Maybe you will not be the favorite of your colleagues. They will hate you sometimes for that because they will think, "Oh, look at this guy. Look at this woman. He's trying to show off. He's trying to be different, huh?" Of course, you're trying to be different because you are different. If you are not different, you are then trying to be equal. You see, you des- you then are trying to be similar. You are not similar. You are a beast. Have you noticed this? You're a creature. You know it. You're a bizarre entity. So don't hide this. Don't hide your truthful ideas. Don't hide your original thinking, although they will say sometimes that is corrupted, that your thinking is wrong, that you need to fix it. Listen to them, but at the end of the day, listen more to you. Because when you end or finish your university career, you will depend on your original thinking to be able to break through new type of business, new type of insights, ideas, scientific inventions, projects, proposals, social technologies, innovations. You need to disrupt the system. But you start disrupting the system when you are inside the university or college, not when you are out. But hey, be careful here. Don't disrupt too much that you will be kicked out, right? You need to balance a good yin and yang in the sense that yes, you are an original thinker, you disrupt the system, but at the same time, you don't disrupt it so much that they will kick you out. You see, if you study every successful entrepreneur or most of them that went to college, although they may drop out, like Bill Gates, like Steve Jobs, like Mark Zuckerberg, they were disrupting the system early on. They were creating a business, they were creating a side project, they were creating something originally. They were not only listening to the professors and repeating from memory, whatever, whatever, whatever. No, they were an ideas fabric, an ideas machine. And you should prioritize this in your life for college and university domination. The next point is that you need to make winning in college or university your top priority. And you need to mix this priority, you need to attach it to your self identity, to your self concept, to your own image. Because if winning and dominating this realm is just kind of it's kind of a dream, is only kind of a goal, you will not do it. You will just hang around. You will just win sometimes, lose other times. You will just give the partial you, not the total you. So you need to invest everything that you got spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You need to go all in. Even if you're working in a job, even if you're a mother or a father or a family man or woman or whatever, even if you're doing other things, because hey, you have life and you will be doing other things. But remember, the maximum investment of your energy should be to win in this realm. It's only gonna take you maybe 4 years, 3 years, 5 years. I don't know. I don't know what is your ambition. I don't know. I don't know how long will be your university career. But until you are done, you are done. Don't get sloppy. Even in your psychological crises, because you will have some of those. If you are very into developing original thinking, man, you will have so many psychological crises. And if you are reading philosophers, as you should be reading in college, like Nietzsche, Heidelberg, or maybe Socrates or Plato or Aristotle, whatever philosopher, they will teach you some things that you will question the very fundamentals of life. And you will be like in an existential crisis. But even in those existential crises, when you're realizing that you are there for nothing, and when you realize that the whole university system is a scam, and when you realize that you don't like capitalism or socialism or whatever, when you realize that you need to drop out all your paradigms, you will be on a crisis. And even in that crisis, you need to continue to dominate, because let me tell you something, that crisis will end. And if you let that crisis to crush your plans for domination, you are done. Because those crises sometimes last 1 year, 6 months. And then what? Then you organize again. You accept some of the conditions of existence. You kind of accept that not every system is perfect, that all systems are corrupt, all systems are flawed in a way. And then what? Well, then you continue your domination. So even in your crisis, you need to maintain this top priority. This will bring you the focus that is necessary to surpass this, even in the face of sickness, death of a familiar or of a relative, economical difficulties, or unwanted, unprecedented situations. And if you fail, you fail. Because this is the part when you attach your result with your self identity. And when you do this, your psyche will give everything to maintain its identity. A lot of people, they say, well, if I fail this, maybe this is the professor to blame. Oh, well, at the end of the day, physics, this is a very hard subject. Notice, they are giving already excuses that are outside their self-identity for why they will fail. So the failure, it doesn't hurt that much. And if it doesn't hurt that much, they cannot self-correct their behavior and their psycho-orientation, the direction of their habits, of their disposition, of their attitude in order to dominate. But if you attach your identity, you will have nothing else to blame. And all the responsibility will be on yourself. And when all the responsibility is on yourself, you transform pressure into power. And when you transform pressure into power, let me tell you something, boy, you dominate. That's what you do. So make sure to bring your identity to the game. Another point is that you need always to study. You need to always study the primary source and leave the professor PowerPoint or overview or video lecture, whatever, to the end when you are studying to an exam or for an exam. Most of your colleagues, do you know what they will do? They will only study what the professor shared with them. They will only study their notes in their notebook or their laptop, whatever. That's why they are average. And that's why they have to study so much when they need to get their license and they are taking the exam for the license, because they don't have roots of knowledge. They only have superficial schemes, superficial memories. They only have leaves instead of roots in the tree of knowledge, you see? And they expect good fruit. They have no good fruit because they have no good root. And without the root, you cannot absorb nutrients and you cannot be solid in the ground in order to materialize abundance. So, what you do, you study the source. So, one of the things that I did, for example, if I was in the personality class as a psychologist student, and they were talking about Freud, yes, I will study whatever the professor told me. But then I went to study Freud's own books, the source itself. And it was so difficult because to study the source itself is very difficult. Those are the geniuses. Your professor is not the genius. Your professor is the copycat. If your professor was the genius, he probably will not be a professor. He probably will be something else, an eminence, so, a prophet, something like Carl Jung like, something like Charles Darwin like, something like Stephen Hawking like. Although some of them are professors, sometimes you kind of know, man, those are geniuses professors. Not because they know to think, no, because they are revolutionizing the thought of the industry in which they are, participating in. So your professor, yes, he's good or she's good, and she is metabolizing, she's digesting the information for you. That's why she gets paid, right? But if you take that information only with the digested fluids, you are eating a pizza that is already chewed by other people. So if you want, to savor the pizza, you need to put the pizza in your own mouth when it's in its raw form, right? You don't want that pizza with the other people's mouth in it or digested. You don't want a professor to throw up the pizza and then you eat that and you say, oh, yes, I like this pizza, right? You want the pizza by your own. So you go and you study the source. Now, this is difficult and most people will not do it. This is exactly why you need to do it. And let me tell you, this strategy is so powerful that I didn't study any hour, zero. I swear this on my daughter's life. 0 hours for my licensure exam. Zero. Because I was so confident that I have studied the sources for so many years that I don't have to go and study again, to prepare. What I will prepare for, I already have the roots. And even if I don't remember something specific, I can manage it because I have so many root information that I can deduct, I can induce, I can kind of know, I can construct the knowledge with my own original thinking that I sophisticated through going to the sources and fighting with the sources, getting smarter because I didn't understand a hell of the sources. You don't understand a hell of them, man. Believe me, if you study the genius behind your industry, you don't understand nothing. But then you become a genius yourself. And let me warn you, your colleagues also will hate you for this because you will know so much profound. You will have so much depth in your thought that will be like, how this guy can be so insightful? Well, because they only eat a throw up pizza, and you are eating the real pizza. That's why. Of course, this take discipline, but well, hey, I am not saying that this is easy. If you want to dominate something in your life, if you want to achieve mastery in whatever in your life, you need to go to war. The next point is on campus, and I know that a lot of in the contemporary times, a lot of careers are being studied online. In the future, they will be studied in the metaverse. But if you are on campus, like physically, be alone. And we are going to balance this point with the next one and the next one, but let's go one step at a time. So let me give you an advice that my sister gave me the day before I start my first day ever in university when I was 18 years old. She's a very successful woman. She's one of the top engineers in Puerto Rico, industrial engineer, and she dominated college and university ferociously. And she already, when I start my career with 18, she was already graduating from her bachelor because she's 4 years ahead of me. And she told me, Derek, if you want to win in college or university, be alone. I know that a lot of your buddies of high school, they are going to the same campus of you. Let them to be together, let them to continue their stuff. You stay alone and you will win. Don't get distracted. And I kind of understood that in the heart, and I applied that until my last day. So when you permit yourself and when you are comfortable being alone, you can dominate university easily because you can move faster. You can move whatever you want to move. You can study with a lot of concentration, with deepness, with quality of concentration. And also a lot of people in university and college, what they like is the drama of it. What they like is the social drama of it. And you are not there for that, right? I suppose. If you are listening to this podcast, I suppose that you are not there for that. You are there for domination, right? You are there for domination. So if you are alone, you don't have time for drama. You don't reinforce the drama in your life. And it's a very powerful strategy. I spent hours and hours and hours alone in college and university, the best hours of my life. Reading a book, doing my own research, contemplating the flowers, meditating, doing my own stuff. I don't care what I was doing. But now, this point, we will balance this point because this is just half of the equation. I am not asking you to become a loner. I am not asking you to become a weird guy or woman that cannot have any social interactions. No, that is not the point. Look at this other point. Other point of college and university domination is that you need to become a leader in organizations. This is huge. And this is super important for your general and holistic dominance. Because understand, college and university is like a spoiler, it's like a training realm, like a hyperbolic time machine that you can be there practicing real life skills that then you will apply in real life. And in real life, when you are one of a million, when you are a genius, when you are a leader, you lead people and you lead and you are the face of organizations, of businesses, stuff like that, right? Of companies, of movements, social movements, politics, whatever you want in life, man, go for it. But then you need to practice these leadership skills in college and university. And let me tell you something, this is one of the best places to practice this. I got very serious with this. And in my bachelor, I went to two organizations and I became leader in both the psychological organization of my bachelor university and also in a fraternity in my bachelor. And then in my doctoral master program, with my own class, I was the president, and we formed an organization, and also I participated in another organization of of psychiatry students, just to learn a little bit about the perspective of psychiatry, because I know that that will help me professionally as a psychologist. And I was a leader in all of them. I was not the president of all of them. Only two of them I became the president. The other, I was a leader in a more, easy position, like a vocal or a vice president or something like that. Or no, I was not vice president. I was a social relationist, something like that. But I always try to be a leader and to learn valuable skills of a leader, like how to communicate with these people. How can I inspire others? How can I articulate a vision? How can I motivate them? How can I resolve interpersonal conflicts? How can I follow through our goals? How can I manage the economics, the finances of our organization? How can we make a good party? How can we make a good social event, a sport event? How can we become the pretty boys in town, in the fraternity? Different stuff, different stuff. And those stuff, I'm now applying that in my own business. And my business is still starting, but I know that this will become a massive organization in the future. I'm working for that, and I will be leading a lot of people, and I will be using those skills that I learned back in the day leading my employees. And even now, I'm leading a lot of my students and my fans with these skills. So yeah, be alone most of the time, but also you will be part of organizations and be present with them. But not because you only want to socialize, but because you want to practice leadership. And this is part of your college university domination, because this is personal development in a nutshell. This is personal development applied to real life, to pragmatical life, to leadership. This is why this is so imperative. And the other point that is in the social dimension is that you need to dedicate time, effort, dexterity to master social skills and sex dynamics. So, if you are single in your college or university journey, understand that is a huge opportunity for you to understand the sexual market and to understand sexual dynamics, how to win with women, how to win with men, how to have sex, how to kiss, how to provoke ejaculations, how to provoke female orgasms, how to do a threesome, how to seduce, basic sexual dynamics. And this is the best stage for doing this, because a lot of women and men in the campus, they are very hot and they are young. Believe me, then you will go to a corporation to work and you will be surrounded by old people. They are all married. And that impetus of sexuality will be over. So take the opportunity. Of course, you need to be responsible. Of course, protect yourself sexually, do the thing right, protect against unwanted pregnancy. I suffered that when I was in my third year of my doctorate program. I got pregnant with my wife, and we were both students, and we now have the daughter. I learned a lot, but I need to be honest. It was something unexpected. So learn from me. If you don't want that, protect yourself. But practice sexuality, practice sexual mastery. This is a domain of college university domination. You don't think about it, but this is a domain. What good will be for you if you are the highest intellectual student and you are still a virgin, you are still a guy without any experience sexually, or a woman that wants to have sex but you don't know how to approach people? And if that is your value, go for it. If you have a very religious or spiritual value for that, chastity, okay, go for it. But if not, if you're just being sloppy sexually, if you are just being comfortable sexually, then take this as a priority and work in your sexual dynamics. I have a course that is called Sexual Mastery. The link is in the description, and I teach you all that I learned on this subject. But also other social skills like public speaking, speaking with authority figures, speaking and persuading and influencing other colleagues of you, or professors, or general people. you know uh Also being open to diversity, to different races, to different perspectives, to the LGBT plus community, intersex community. Other social skills, cultivate them. Being open to religion, to different spiritualities, stuff like that. So look, it's a very good combination of, yes, be alone, in the sense that in that way you will avoid a lot of drama, but be a leader, cultivate sexual mastery, and cultivate what I can call political social skills for the future. Also, you need to recontextualize every exam taking as a confrontation with your potential instead of a competition against the professor or other colleagues. This is very important. A lot of people fail their exams in university because they are anxious. They know the material, but their anxiety is too much, the performance anxiety. And when you kind of forget about it, you don't need to show off. You don't need to demonstrate no one that you are the best. You don't need to demonstrate the professor. You don't need to impress other people. Every exam is just potential. It's you against your potential, you against your knowledge, you against your problem solving capacities, you against your creativity, you against your inventiveness, you against how well you can articulate an idea, you against how you can solve difficult multivariable problems, you against your inferior self. That is every exam. An exam is just a confrontation. An exam is just a conflict between your greatness and your current self. And if you focus on that perspective, notice you will have no fear and you will crush the exam, because there's nothing better in life than to conquer yourself. And every exam is just another opportunity to conquer yourself. Just digest that idea, my friend. It's a very powerful idea. The next point is that you need to create an MVP. This stands for minimum viable product, to gather entrepreneurial experience before graduation. So, for example, if you are studying law, you can start Instagram just sharing blogs about law. You are not charging, you are not a lawyer, but you are creating something that is minimal, but you are gathering experience in the field. You are already blogging about it. You are getting your hands dirty. When I ended my bachelor and I start my doctoral program, I start talking about psychology, the mind, emotions in this project on my YouTube channel and other social media. I didn't have the whole business, but I started with something. And now I only have 1 year of being a doctor and 6 years of career. So my career didn't start when I finished university. My career started during university, and now I'm ahead of most people that graduated with me that they are not starting. I already started. I already have 6 years of experience. I have more distinctions on my brain. I have more sales skills, more marketing skills. I have real life context. Now, of course, you need to have a license for most of stuff that you're studying. So I'm not telling you that you will charge necessarily. I'm not telling you that you will fake that you are the professional. I'm telling you that you will start a project that is minimal, that you can actually do it, no problem, but related to your field that will give you some experience and advantage in the future. You can start building your reputation and you can say, hey, I'm just a student. If you are studying medical, whatever, to be a medic, hey, I'm just a medical student and I learned this, blah, 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 that the gut, blah, 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 that the brain, blah, 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 blah. And, when you are finally a doctor, a lot of people will know you because you have been guiding them in their journey of learning about your field. George Lucas was famous because sometimes the professor in the film class, he asked him or the other students to do like a 10 seconds uh, movie for a final exam or something like that. And he did the whole movie. And the professor was, hey, dude, I just asked you for 10 seconds. And George Lucas was, I don't care. I will do the whole movie because I want the experience. And then when he graduated, he created Star Wars. And you know him. And you know the whole saga of Star Wars. But maybe you don't know any other of his colleagues, right? Because they were just doing the 10 seconds. They were just doing whatever they were told. They were not independent thinkers. They were not creative thinkers. They were not putting the minimal viable product, the MVP. Do that for college and university domination. Also, you need to download the spirit of wisdom. Forget memory. It's very important. So when you are in class, listen to what the professor are saying, but download the pattern, the spirit of the thing. A lot of people just focus on the minimal details. Oh, this date, all this class, or this type, blah, 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 blah. And they are concentrating on that crap that it doesn't matter. What matters is the spirit of the thing. What matters is the essence of the thing. That is what really transforms your heart. Yes, for the exam, go and study the details. But when you are in class, be one with the spirit of the class. Be one with the code, with the matrix code that is inside the drama that they are speaking. Learn to see the light in knowledge, the gnosis, and as they call the gnosis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly in English. Gnosticism is kind of the mystical realm of Christianity, and gnosis is wisdom. So you need to distill that. You need to grab that spirit in your hand and eat it. And then you can study and focus on details. Remember, always go for the truth. Always go to the root. to the viscera of the thing, to the germ, to the nucleus of the thing, to the substance of the thing. And you will understand the macro perspective. If you can understand the cell, you can understand the human. You see, if you can understand the neuron, you can understand the brain. If you can understand the unit, you can understand the totality. But the unit is the pattern, the spirit of the thing, the intelligence of the thing, the unity, the integrity, the wholeness of the thing, the macro perspective of the thing, the cosmical dance of multiple variables of the thing. Concentrate on that. And for that, you need to not only listen with your intellect, but also listen with your intuition, with your right brain, your creative brain. And then combine that beautifully with your intellect and your reason. Also, you need to make library your headquarters. Get in love with the library on campus. Library is the best. Dude, trust me. The best girls, you will know her in the library. The best men, you will know them in the library. Best experience in the library. In the library, you are surrounded by books. You can grab a book and have a good idea. You can have a good conversation with someone that died. You can have a conversation with Seneca. You can have a conversation with Carl Jung. You can have a conversation with Karl Marx. You can have a conversation with, I don't know, man, with Albert Einstein. You can have a conversation with whoever's. And most people in the library, they are so focused that that vibe will enter your spirit and you will become super focused. Just go to the social part of your university, go to the football field, go to different parts, but most of the time, make the library your headquarters. Spend the night there, dream there, sleep there, eat there, have sex there. Live there. And believe me, you will crush. You will dominate your journey. And the last point, and I will give you an extra one that I just realized, but one of the last points is that, well, let me just tell you another one before telling you the last point. Very important. Very important. Use your college university journey to explore different spiritualities. This is so important. To travel if you can as well. To get to know different cultures. To get out there. To do selfless service. Very important. To do service for others. To know poor communities. To work directly with people in need. To study Buddhism, to practice Christianity, to practice Islam, to practice Hinduism, to practice meditation, to practice Qigong, to practice yoga, practice everything. Then you will decide if you just want one of those systems. But in college, that is your time to explore your mind. Maybe when you are listening to these, psychedelics will be illegal. Maybe that is going to be a good option for you as well to explore your mind with psychedelics. Do everything, man. Sound healing, scream therapy, go to a therapist, go to a coach, Kundalini yoga, pranayamas, breathing, fitness. Do everything. Because in college and university, you can be everything, man. You don't have a specific role. Then you will have only one role for life. That is your moment to be everything. And the last point for college and university domination is that graduation is not the end. Graduation is just the beginning. When you graduate, a couple of applauses to you, and then what? Then what? What you will do? What you will do with your career? Will you have an epic career? Will you change the world? Will you lead a powerful movement, or will you just be average? That is a decision that you need to make. My suggestion to you is to be absolutely ambitious after you get out of university, and to apply everything that you learn in your journey to create a massive impact in the world, to revolutionize history, to sophisticate the collective mind of the whole world, to create a dent in the universe, to go big in whatever you are doing. Because that is the real university domination, where you dominate life afterwards. If you dominated college and university and then you become a normal average employee, what was for, man? Why then you struggle so hard to become the best version of yourself back in the day, if then you will just drop that through the roof or to the trash and that's it? No, it's about changing the world. It's about changing yourself to change the world, dude. That is the personal development fruit. That is the personal development germ. This is the purpose. We engineer ourselves to engineer reality. We configure our mind to reconfigure humanity. This is the whole purpose of this work. And college and university, that is just practice. That is just rehearsing. Life is the real test. Your ultimate battle. Your greatest war. When you will prove the sword of your heart. This is where children and adults become one. Not separated, but one. Because you will play as a child, but change the world as an adult. Dominate college and university, but most importantly, dominate life. This was your Dr. Derek Israel. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a comment with some of your ideas of how you can dominate college. Maybe you can add something. Let's do it. Also, remember to share this with your colleagues, with other people that you know that they are going to universities and colleges. Maybe they will find this useful and we can create a better world because of it. Also, remember that you can donate on Patreon, only $5 per month, and you can help this podcast and this research that I'm doing. You can support it, and it will stay free for all people to see and to enjoy and to transform their lives with your donations. Thank you for everyone that is donating. The link is in the description. Also, join our Telegram group. It's completely free, and you can join with people that they are bilingual. They are very kind and very fun, and they do personal development. So the link is also in the description. And remember that if you want to go to a more powerful educational program that universities, because universities are more like for careers, but I'm talking about a more personal development type of educational program, you can go to my courses. I have a course of life purpose to discover that, very important. I have a course of sexual mastery, meditation, hyperproductivity, ultimate integrity, self-love. All of those courses, the link are in the description. Check them. And believe me, only one of those courses, if you dare to take it, I will transform your life. If I just transformed your life, in 1 hour here. Just imagine in a whole course. Also remember that you can book me as your personal coach if you want life coaching. The link is in the description. Also, you can reserve me as a spiritual guru if you want to achieve more spiritual levels in your life, more sophisticated spiritual levels. You can work with me one on one in my spiritual guru service. And also, I can be your psychologist if you live in Puerto Rico. You can go to the link in the description and you can fill the request form and to see if you can work with me. Also, remember, I will be uploading a lot of merchandise very soon of this brand in derekisrael.com. And also, I will be publishing a lot of books in the near future. So stay tuned, visit the store, derekisrael.com, and I see you